Commercial operating systems have become a new norm to be used as our daily drivers. The most notorious one is Windows PC OS, a popular commercial operating system amongst personal computers and work PCs. Windows has the market share of around 72% worldwide, which has been declining ever since the 21st century. This is because of their poor and shitty decisions in regards to their software and its services, the example being the OS itself, and recent spyware implementations and other bullshit that gets added to the software that only gets worse every year. Ever since March or June of 2024, people started to make their last straws after a recent implementation of a new spyware feature called Recall, a knockoff macOS feature that only gets stored in the storage of the PC and screenshots every 5 seconds. Soon after the announcement has been made, people started to find solutions to an alternatives that would be a best interest for them. That's when a new niche piece of software started to pop up on recommendations: Linux, an alternative operating system to Windows and Mac OS. People started to pack up their bags, move to Linux, and never look back again. And that, my friend, is the reason why you should be moving to Linux. Hi, my name is Anonymous, and today we are going to talk about a particular subject that has been around ever since 2024. Should you switch to Linux? This is a part 1 of this series. This is an introduction to Linux, and thus the next series will have a set of recommendations for a new user. Please bear with me over here with this script. God. Hold up. Linux is a Unix/Linux kernel founded by Linus Torvalds in 1993. Linux is not a standalone operating system. Matter of fact, there are Linux family trees, and the ones are as listed: Debian, Ubuntu, Fedora, and Arch Linux. These Linux families are not standalone themselves and are only developed by either the community or by a large big tech corporate entity that only makes things work from there. These families are derivatives. For example, Ubuntu is based on Debian, while Linux Mint is based on Ubuntu, and MX Linux is based on Debian. Linux, contrary to popular belief, is a free and open source operating system, and the first ever distro to release was Debian, a distro that is considered to be the oldest distro and thus has a philosophy of being a free software, and it is the most leading software to ever exist. Linux is rising on the top with over 4% on the total market share. It is believed that Linux might become pre-installed in every future by other corporations when it reaches 10 or 7% higher, and thus Windows falling and making it unpopular in the next upcoming years. Linux has many distributions in development, while also many distros also available, ready to be used by any user. Let's talk about package managers. Package managers are software or set of tools that allows the user to download or install, update, upgrade, and remove or uninstall the software or the package in question. For example, Synaptic is a graphical package manager front end, which is a software for installing, updating, and removing software or packages. It can also be used on a command terminal, which is used for using terminal commands. For example, in apt-get command, which can be used for packages that either be installed, updated, or removed, such as adapt-get install, adapt-get update, adapt-get upgrade, and adapt-get remove. These commands are only specific to their respective distros. These are, as mentioned, are only specific to Debian and Ubuntu or its based derivatives. However, the only niche distro I could think of is Rhino Linux, which has pacman and apt-get as its package management, despite being a Ubuntu-based derivative. It is still a functional distribution made for developers, of course. For pacman, this only applies to Arch Linux and its derivatives, such as Manjaro and CachyOS. As far as Linux goes, it has many benefits to improve the user experience when using the distro. Such improvements may include privacy, security, optimizations, performance, customizations, and other kinds of improvements, which the list goes on forever, I guess. Another thing to mention is desktop environments. Desktop environments are graphical user interfaces within the Linux distro. Desktop environments matter, and the reason why is because they're either, become the default Linux distro or are only single desktop environment that can be used. And there are many of them. For example, Cinnamon is made by the Linux Mint team, which is a fork of GNOME 2 after GNOME 3 has made some pretty bad regressions, which has made many developers to develop their own desktop environment based off of GNOME 2. This includes Mate. Mate is a GNOME 2 fork but made it modern and more lightweight desktop environment. On the other hand, the XFCE project is a desktop environment, which is an independent project made to be old school, probably, and lightweight. Let's talk about the aforementioned distributions. Ubuntu is a Linux distro based on Debian, made to be simple and user-friendly. It is owned by Canonical Limited, or Ltd. Fedora is a semi-fixed distribution that is community-maintained and made by the Red Hat Enterprise Linux, or RHEL, which is the technology forwarded to RHEL from Fedora. However, it is unstable and it is usually a corporate sponsored by Red Hat, which has corporate ties to it. Arch Linux is a rolling release distro and an independent project and is community maintained, I guess, with its own repository being Arch User Repository, or AUR, with its own package management, pacman, and it is also a command line installer based distro. Linux Mint is a Ubuntu derivative which removes telemetry and spyware implemented by Canonical. It is easy to use and out-of-the-box experience. It is also the most popular distro according to DistroWatch, with hit page ranking up to number 1. Manjaro is a Arch-based derivative which is made to be simple and beginner-friendly. Also a bit popular distro but has telemetry implementations. CachyOS is a Arch-based distro designed with high optimizations and security. It is also a recently popular distro in 7 days. Hit page ranking is number 2 on DistroWatch. Okay, so I know this is a off the script, but I forgot to mention about MX Linux. MX Linux is a distribution based on Debian. It's usually like a number 2 on the distro watch, and it's like a portable Linux distro, I believe, and its main desktop environment is usually around XFCE, but they're like free desktop environments, so yeah. It's also considered to be a mid-weight distro, but to me it's kind of like lightweight, and I'm not really sure about that, so you can just figure it out yourself. Who would have known that? And it has many packages, but it's user-friendly, but it might be bloated at some times. But it is what it is, I guess. But hey, that's just me off the script. Forgot to include that. Alright, so I think that's all for now. Thank you guys for watching this amazing masterpiece, or a video. Actually, this is my first video to make, so please bear with me, I guess. Thank you. Yeah, see you guys next time. Goodbye, I guess.
Fuck Jake Paul, I'm skibbity got maxing. Fuck Jake Paul, I'm a skibbity Rizzler.